How do the life stories that stick with us, the really influential ones, how do they actually define our world?
And maybe more interestingly, how do the writers um, use certain narrative tricks to shape how you perceive those lives?
Yeah, exactly. So today we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating mix of biographies and memoirs. We're looking at character, adversity, triumph.
Right, across a whole range of lives. You've got political figures in crisis, iconic figures going through major transformations. It's quite a stack.
And this is really designed for you, the curious learner out there, someone who wants to go deeper than just a quick summary.
Absolutely. We're trying to break down how the authors persuade you,
Yeah.
asking, how reliable is this narrator? What are the key things we should be taking away?
And pulling this all together, comparing, say, Liz Cheney's memoir with Anne Frank's diary, it takes a specific approach.
It does. And you are actually experiencing a unique two-host AI conversation right now. It's powered by Google's Notebook LM, which helps us create these deeper, more dynamic book summaries.
Okay, so let's maybe unpack this by looking at themes. How about starting with political crisis? We've got Oath and Honor from Liz Cheney and William P. Barr's One Damn Thing After Another.
Yeah. Put those two side by side, and you immediately see how that first-person political memoir often works as a kind of legacy defense. It's fascinating.
How so? What stands out?
Well, what's really interesting is that both Barr and Cheney are talking about incredibly high-stakes ethics during a political chaos. But their stories, they serve very different ends.
Right.
Barr's account, you could argue, often leans towards justifying his actions, framing them as necessary damage control. Cheney's, on the other hand, seems explicitly written to model accountability, maybe even call others out.
She uses her own situation being ousted from party leadership almost as evidence of her convictions.
Precisely, and that kind of
Yeah.
digging into the why behind the writing. That's the core analysis we try to bring out from the genre, understanding the motive.
Absolutely. That tension in those books, it feels like a battle over how history will remember things.
It really does.
But okay, that's just one angle. If those political books are about defending a legacy, what about memoirs focused on identity? Like Michelle Obama's Becoming? Or the autobiography of Malcolm X? That seems like, well, legacy creation, maybe?
Yeah.
Through transformation.
That's a great way to put it. And we synthesize these through a focused summary, tracing those key themes. Becoming is such a powerful, optimistic story of resilience, of identity, showing that sort of incremental growth.
They're gradual, yeah.
But then you connect that to Malcolm X's autobiography, and you see transformation that's much more, sudden, intense.
Totally different scale.
Right. So how does his story of resistance and really radical change kind of push back against the sometimes quite rigid self-portraits you get in those political crisis books? They offer completely different ways of dealing with adversity.
Which leads us nicely into the special features part of what we do, thinking about things like truth and bias. We have to question the stories, interrogate the myths versus the reality.
Definitely. Think about Andrew Roberts' biography,
Yeah.
Churchill. It's considered controversial by some.
Because it challenges the myth.
Exactly. Roberts forces you to look at the man's pre-World War II views, his political failures, right alongside his wartime triumphs. It complicates the picture.
And that highlights a crucial difference, doesn't it? A historical biography like that relies on external evidence. You have to weigh sources.
Whereas something like The Diary of Anne Frank gives you that raw, immediate impact of a first-person account. There's no external filter in the same way.
Analyzing these different types, that's where we model the kind of critical reflection needed for, well, rational thought.
And just a quick note, you can find more of this kind of critical insight on our YouTube channel. It's called Mindful Moments. We offer AI book analysis, summaries, and critiques there, all aimed at inspiring reflection and rational thought.
So the value here, what we hope you get from these deep dives, it's pretty straightforward. We want to empower you with better tools for critical analysis.
Yeah, showing you how to evaluate the historical context, how to maybe spot narrative strategies that could be hiding a bias.
It's not about judging the person necessarily.
No, not at all. It's about evaluating the story they chose to tell and why they told it that way.
So connecting this all back, biographies and memoirs, they really remain essential for understanding our world, don't they? They give us these blueprints for complex human decisions.
Absolutely essential. We've tracked transformation, resistance, self-defense, just in this quick overview. But maybe the final takeaway for you, the listener, is the most critical one.
Which is?
When you read any life story, you always have to ask, who is this story really for? Is it written for history, or is it written perhaps for absolution?
That critical lens, that questioning, That really is the key to being a sharper, more independent thinker.
It truly is. Engaging with these stories helps you build that muscle.
Become a sharper, more independent thinker today. Explore our many podcasts. Click on our logo to subscribe, share, and strive for clear, critical thinking.